Tokyo Game Show 2022. After 3 years, the event is finally in person, and whew, I am tired. I am very tired. I forgot how just tiring these conventions can be. Not in a bad way by any means, just with so many people around, you're constantly moving, trying to talk with people, network, the whole 9 yards, and you're just like, oh wow, it's already 9 p.m. at night, and oh hey, I gotta make like 4 videos before going to bed, and now wake up to do this tomorrow at 6 a.m. So it's been going crazy. What's going on, guys? Tallen here with FF7 Direct, and today we got to go to the very first day of the Tokyo Game Show 2022. It hasn't been in person since 2019. It's been over 3 years since this thing has been in person, which has been absolutely crazy. So I was able to get a pass. I was able to go for the first day today, and I'm also gonna be going again tomorrow to try out new demos, network with some indie companies and developers and publishers and all that stuff. So it's been a lot of fun getting back into doing this kind of thing. So I kind of just want to go over the kind of things that we saw and did today. So up on the screen, it'll go back and forth between either my camera photo shots or actually recording live footage on the floor, or just, you know, my camera here, my reactions and things like that. So I can't get to every little thing that I saw. I might spend a little bit more time on certain things compared to others, but regardless, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What are you most excited to see from Tokyo Game Show? I know obviously a lot of it is already being shown online and everything. So if you have seen some stuff online, let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. You know, what is your favorite thing? You know, hashtag Tokyo Game Show, TGS 2022, all that kind of stuff. And if you haven't already, make sure you're following us over on the FF7 Direct Twitter account. We're posting a bunch of photos over there and some little clips and videos and everything. And also check us out over on TikTok. And obviously sub to the channel if you happen to be new, because we are also posting shorts and everything for just, you know, seeing the floors and everything like that, whether it's big publishers like Bandai or Square Enix, or even little indie guys and everything like that, because tons of fun stuff to do around there. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so first things first, I gotta talk about every single thing that I saw real quick, and then I'm gonna go back into them and kind of see, just give my own personal opinions on it. So got to see quite a bit, but the things I actually got to try out myself are a little bit different. So first things, in terms of everything that I saw, I got to see Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core demo. I got to see the Forspoken demo. I got to see Solstice. I got to see Oni. I got to see Eno Tria, the last song, which most of you probably have not heard of, so very few people have actually heard of, so I'll get into that more. Tower and rhythm game, which is actually pretty fun, kind of a take on a tower defense game and a rhythm game at the same time, and I gotta admit, actually was pretty fun. Then I got to see the new Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers, and Like a Dragon Ishin. I'm gonna be able to try both of those out tomorrow. So if you want to get some more exclusive shots and gameplay of that, make sure you sub to the channel again, and because I will be doing that. And then finally, I also got to see some stuff from like Bandai. I got to see One Piece Odyssey, and I also see Dragon Ball Breaker. Shout out to our man Iron Can. I know he's super excited for that game. I got to see Konami again. I got to see just a ton of indie. I mean, I could be here for 2 hours trying to name off every single indie developer and publisher that was there. It was they have this huge section dedicated. You saw like PlayStation and Switch, just indie games, because they are going full in on these indie games. There are tons and tons of underrated indie games out there, and if you ever get a chance to play some of them, I highly recommend it, because you can usually get them on Game Pass, or you can usually get them for a good sale or something like that. Regardless, they are a lot of fun. So that's all the stuff that I got to see and everything. Let's talk about some of the more specific details and everything. So first off, I gotta start with probably my favorite of the entire floor, and that was the Crisis Core demo. Now I know Crisis Core has been out for years and years, especially if you had the PlayStation Portable, but this is it's a mix between a remake and a remaster. They took a lot of the stuff that worked with the remake of Final Fantasy VII Part 1, and to our knowledge, aren't really changing the story or anything. At least that's what they claim in their marketing and everything. And we get to see that in this demo. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to record it or anything. I was able to take some photos though. So as I'm talking about this, you're probably seeing random photos pop up on the screen, and we're showing some other, you know, gameplay demo trailers and all that kind of stuff. But it was actually a lot of fun to jump back in this game. I remembered it instantly how it worked, but it was taking some of the combat mechanics that we had from Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1, mixing it together with what we know and what we liked from the original PSP game, and just mashing them together. Even though I couldn't understand some of the kanji that was on there, I could understand how to do basic attacks and everything, because they give us this little card thing that we could read, whether you're playing on the Switch or on the PlayStation 5. And you could see, you know, what attack was, what magic was, how to do defense, all that stuff, right? So it was very simple to play the game, play more like a hack and slash if you want to, but if you really wanted to do real damage to these guys, you had to know how to combine attacks, you had to know how to use your magic with your attack, you had to use your special attacks from the slot machine that is still activated up in the top left corner. So that is still a little bit random, but regardless, the combat felt smooth. It felt responsive. It felt fun to play. Plus the game looks really good. Now, I got to play it on the PlayStation 5, and I was actually supposed to play it on the Switch because they hand out all the cards to you to show you how to play the game, whether you're on the PlayStation or on the Switch. And I got one of the Switch cards. But the moment I got up into the front of the line, they're like, "Oh, sorry, we gave out too many cards." And so I'm like, "Okay, well, I guess I'll just wait. I'll play on the PS5." So I had to sit there for about another 10-15 minutes, and then I got to play on the PlayStation 5. I did get to talk to a couple of people that I met there, though, who got to play the Switch version of the game, and I asked them because one of the big things that everyone kept thinking originally was that this has to be some kind of cloud version of this game, right? And then we saw in the PlayStation and Nintendo events that have been going over the last couple of days that no, it is actually on the Switch. It is not cloud-based. So, okay, let's see how this thing runs then. And when I talked to them, they said it actually felt pretty responsive. The graphics obviously are not as good because, well, Switch, PlayStation 5. One's obviously more powerful than the other. That's not rocket science or anything like that. So, but when I asked them, they said, yeah, the combat felt fluid. It felt like it was hitting a good frame rate. And overall, the things worked that needed to work and everything. Even when they're doing the crazy magic combos combined with your sword and you went into your special attack or something like that, it didn't lag or anything, at least according to them. So I'll have to take their word on it because, again, I couldn't get to try it because if I wanted to go back in line, I had to wait like another 2 hours. And I wanted to go play some other games and talk with people and all that stuff. So overall, it seems to be looking really good for the Crisis Core remake / remaster, whatever you want to call it. So I'm super excited for this. Again, this is coming out on PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and the PC. So regardless of what platform you have, I highly recommend getting this. It comes out on December 13th, 2022. Going into the next big one that a lot of people are asking me to play, including our very own Lethal. Lethal, I know you are coming out here, man. You are coming out here next year. We are going to tackle Tokyo Game Show 2023, was the Forspoken demo. Now, this game has been up and down in people's minds based on trailers, based on demos, based on first impression videos that I've shown on YouTube and the likes. And I have to say, when I was waiting in line, which was a long time, by the way, they let you play this demo for like a good 20 minutes. So this is not like, you know, hey, jump into the game and you play for like 10 minutes and you're done, right? Like the Crisis Core demo, I got through very fast because I knew how to play it already. But with Forspoken, I was like, okay, I've never played this game, obviously, so let's give it a shot. And sorry, by the way, again, they didn't allow for recording or for photos. They didn't allow for anything in this. So what you're seeing is just simply what we've gotten through trailers and everything. So when I jumped into the game, they give you a quick tutorial on how to play the game. So how to switch between your magic. There are two basic magics. You have fire and earth right now. I'm assuming there's obviously gonna be more, but the earth magic is mostly based on rapid fire shots, charge up shots, and then you fire it, and then also conjuring up a shield. So there's 3 different attacks to actually attack somebody, and then you have a bunch of support magic for anything from like a whip to planting a plant that will grow up and actually like tangle your enemies and weaken them and everything like that. Then you have more of your typical fire one, but you don't actually, you know, just do a fire blast or anything like that. You actually just conjure up a sword or a sphere, and you can either throw it or just swipe it and everything, or you do like this big area of effect attack and everything like that. And then the supporting moves for that are also like, you know, conjuring lava up from the ground or having this giant dome of fire just appear in front of you and everything like that. So in terms of the combat, it is very flashy. For those who don't know, by the way, the people who are making this game was a lot of the team that made Final Fantasy 15. So if you enjoyed Final Fantasy 15, I think you're going to enjoy this game. I would say that, again, just like Final Fantasy 15, the combat is very flashy and it looks really good, especially going on a PS5, because this game's, to my knowledge, as of right now, only coming to the PS5. I won't be surprised if it hits the PC later, but as of right now in January, it will hit on the PlayStation 5. So anyway, after you get done with the initial tutorial and everything, they're basically like, okay, start going to these markers. There's multiple different markers in the open world and everything like that. You actually get to explore it and everything. And it shows that basically if you hold down the circle button as you're running, you'll do more of a parkour, what they call magic parkour. Real original there, Square Enix. Anyway, regardless, so you get to move across the land and everything like that. However, it is a little limited. They have this little bar at the bottom of the screen, and it uses up what I would assume would be your magic, essentially. They didn't exactly tell us what it is. But regardless, you get to do that, and then you would stop and you'd probably run into some enemies and everything like that. And again, the more I got into the combat, switching between like the fire and the sword and the spear and everything, then going back to the earth magic and everything, that actually gets working pretty well. I actually kind of liked it. At first, it was a little crazy because it was like the support magic. There's like 8 or 9 options for just earth alone, and then just fire alone. And then each of the basic attacks are 3 of them. And I'm assuming there's going to be more because there are upgrades and everything that you could get if you wanted to. So, and then if they throw in you like ice magic or wind magic or something like that, that's even more. So the combat is definitely going to be a bit of a learning curve, which is fine. You know, I just hope they don't go a little too crazy, because I feel like people are definitely going to start leaning on one particular type of magic attack compared to another, or magic support or anything. So hopefully they make it worth our while to actually want to use all these others combined. But I think just the one downside I can see is that you're just going to forget about it, unfortunately, right? Because there's just so many options that you're just going to be like, oh yeah, that is an option, isn't it? Anyway, as we were going through the open world though, this was one of the things that a lot of people were worried about. And unfortunately, I have to report that it is a bit of a worry myself now that I've actually got to play the game. Now, I know it's a demo and everything, so maybe the full game can change that a little bit. They even say that. I don't know how old the demo is, but the world is very empty. You'll run around for quite a decent amount of time before you finally then run into random enemies that pop up, whether they're big or small. Well, I have to say, though, the enemies actually look really detailed and look really nice. These giant alligators with like these thorns on them and everything like that look really cool. These deer that we ran into were really awesome to fight and take out and everything. But there was a lot of time where you're just like, there's nothing going on in the world. Like, enemies pop up, you fight them, then you're done. Then you randomly stand on a rock to take a picture, and then you're literally trying to like run around the cliff or go up the cliff or anything, which, you know, for the most part, the movement felt just fine. But I can tell this world's gonna be pretty empty unless this demo is like over a year old or something like that, which I'm gonna take a wild guess and say no. So I'm not trying to criticize the game and just be like, oh no, you know, bad open world, you know, nothing to do, okay, crap game or something like that. I'm really not trying to say that. It's just that when I was in there, like, you notice it right off the bat. You just notice it. So something to keep in mind there. Now, the one positive I will say though is that because this is a demo, I wouldn't be surprised if this is released on the PlayStation 5 for those who have one to actually try this game out. At least I hope they do that. If they don't, I'm going to be honestly kind of shocked, because it actually said on the screen when we started to play it, you know, demo, and then after you finish a certain mission, you're done. Like, you can't go any further or anything like that. So there's nothing to, you know, this is made already, so they should hopefully release this, I would hope. I mean, Square Enix and Sony usually work pretty well together, so let's hope they do that, and then you guys can be able to decide for yourselves, and you can let me know later if you think this is good or not. So anyway, regardless, I'll have to wait and see what happens when Forspoken finally releases and everything. Wait for some reviews. This one I'm definitely going to say wait for reviews to see how it turns out and everything, because again, if you are someone who loved Final Fantasy 15, you'll probably love this as well. But in terms of the open world, it wasn't my particular cup of tea. And also I noticed when you're trying to just do multiple, you know, light attacks with your fire sword, when you're trying to use your fire magic, it feels a little wonky and the hit registration is a little off and everything. So again, maybe they fixed this already. Everything works fine. Who knows? But that's just something to keep in mind. Moving on though, we got to go over some indie game zone. These were a lot of fun to play. Oh my gosh, I haven't had this much fun in quite a while. So first one I got to talk about is Oni. Oni is this cute little game made by this small team here. And all it is you are literally an Oni, or a demon / devil, however you want to translate it. It has multiple translations in Japanese, by the way. But you just run around and you have this club and you're like beating enemies, and you like do this like samurai style slash move, but you're using a club. So it's really weird to hear, like, you go donk and then it hears a shing. It's really funny just to see and everything like that. You're probably seeing the gameplay up on screen right now, and you actually combo that when you defeat your enemies, because then orbs pop out of them. And if you don't defeat those orbs or slice them, essentially, they'll revive. So you have to take those out in a timely order and everything. So, and you can't just like beat your enemy and leave the orb there for quite a while, otherwise it will revive eventually. So you have to kind of play it smooth. You got to be like, okay, I'm going to take out these 3 enemies, slice, get a combo. You get combos as you do this and everything, which is really cool. So I had a lot of fun with this game. I can't wait to try this game out. Definitely up on my radar now that I got the chance to play it. So the last 2 indie games that I also want to talk about, because again, I got to play so many, and tomorrow I'm also supposed to go try some others out and everything like that. But there were 2 ones that have no release date, and it will be quite a while to this release. The first one is someone that you have probably never heard of, and that is Enotria: The Last Song. This is a small indie game made by, well, the team now is about 50 people. It was originally started by 12 people. This is an Italian studio using the Unreal Engine 4, and you are a mask that basically forms a body due to history and music. And you go and you basically, it's almost like playing a Souls game to an extent, but it's a little bit more forgiving in your traditional Souls game, I would say. It has a lot more, I would say, variety with the combat when you start mixing in the fact that when you start finding certain wines, because Italy, right? You know, the wines and everything that are known for the culture, or you start to unlock historical puzzles and pieces and everything that allow you to use different powers and all that kind of stuff. And then all enemies have this blue bar below them when you're fighting them. And after you've hit them enough times, you go into this new kind of, I would call it like a fury mode essentially, but it's not really that, but it basically allows you to do extra damage. But then also if your enemies leave behind any kind of like resistance or some kind of like, I'm gonna call it a puddle, essentially anything that they leave behind when they get defeated, or if they attack you with something and it leaves like an area of effect around the ground, you're actually able to absorb that in this mode, and that makes you do new combos and all this kind of stuff. And again, this game's only been in development for a year. They're hoping that this will probably come out around at earliest somewhere in 2024. So we still got quite a ways. They're still trying to do a bunch of marketing and everything like that. But this game was really fun. Again, it's only a year old. So yeah, we ran into some technical glitches and everything, and they told me that right away. But it was a blast. I want to do more of like an own video to talk about this more, because this video is already getting really, really long. But regardless, I want to let you guys know, keep an eye out for this game. You will not regret it. It was a lot of fun to play, and I cannot wait for everyone to start getting their hands on it. Probably within the next year, I would hope so, but I'm not really sure. If it shows up at Tokyo Game Show next year for 2023, definitely 100% going to get the rest of the direct team to come out and play this game. So last game I want to talk about before we end the video here is going to be Tower and Rhythm. Now, this game has been in development for a couple of years, actually, to my knowledge, but due to them trying to get publishers and everything like that, no idea when this will actually come out. But it's basically a tower defense game where you're this character and you just run, you know, you go around, and some enemies will start to come out of a portal, and you will set it, or you set up towers and everything, but it's all music based. Like, so I set up a fireball tower, and it was a guitar. And then I set up an electric tower that would shoot lightning strikes out at the enemies, and it was an electric guitar, right? The fire one actually might have been more of a violin, the more I think about it, but regardless, it's really cool. And then you can create music note towers, which when you gather these music notes, this allows you to upgrade your towers or build more. Now, every time you build a tower or upgrade or anything like that, you have to do a rhythm game real quick. So I was on the PC, used the Z, V, X, and C keys. I had to get used to it. I was really terrible at the beginning, but I started to get used to it after a while. But it was just a lot of fun to play, though. I was just like, I'm actually kind of getting into it. And then unfortunately, I was doing really good. Like, I got all these towers built. I had these music notes. I had like a surplus of everything. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're beating everything. And then all of a sudden, my character just gets launched into the screen. So I actually kind of broke the game, unfortunately. The guy was like, whoa, I've never seen that happen before. So again, no idea when this game's actually going to be coming out or anything, because they're still looking for like publishers and all that. But regardless, it was a lot of fun to see this game. And I'm not one for rhythm games or anything like that, but actually kind of fun. I'd actually consider getting it. I really would. It was a lot of fun. So I hope there's a demo later on when all this stuff has been hammered out and everything, and they're planning to release this game. But regardless, it was just a lot of fun. So that's actually one of the best things I can always recommend, whether you go to E3, Gamescom, or any of these events or anything like that, is to go try some of these indie games, because one, there's no lines usually, and two, these can be like these hidden gems. There's just a lot of fun to try out and everything. So anyway, guys, that's basically it for the first wrap-up day for Tokyo Game Show 2022. Again, I could keep talking forever, and I would be here for like 3 hours or something like that. So I'll probably do like a live stream later on. So make sure you sub to the channel if you want to see a live stream where I just talk about like literally everything from Tokyo Game Show. Maybe I'll make it during the community Friday night stream or something like that, where we stream and we just have fun playing games together, where I let you guys come and join me in the games, and I'll just be talking about my experiences with the Tokyo Game Show. But regardless, let me hear your thoughts down below. What do you want me to try and see tomorrow by the time you're seeing this? Or if I see it in the day 2, then I'll obviously cover it for day 2. But I'm going to do some individual videos of some of the other games that I got to play and everything like that. So let me hear your thoughts down below if you've seen some of the live streams or anything like that, all that fun stuff. And of course, leave a like on the video if you happen to like to enjoy this type of content. We are almost real close to 2,000 subs, so smash that sub button if you happen to enjoy the content as well and you want to see more of this stuff. I've been Tallen with 59 Gaming Direct, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Johnny.